All right. I'm here with Kirk, Jack, Bracken. It is July 25th, the day after the 4th of July. Bracken.
What
July
day is
5th.
it?
July 25th.
25th, did I say? The 5th. It's July
right.
5th, the day after July 4th. So I'm curious, Bracken, how many hot dogs can you eat in 10 minutes?
I would say 20.
20.
Yeah.
All right. I like that confidence.
It's coming up later.
You're not training enough to afford 20 hot dogs right now, Bracken. It's going to go right to your ass.
Like I said, it's coming up post haste. I'm not going to enjoy myself, but I think I could get 20 down.
I like that confidence because I was thinking 10, and I can.
Are we talking buns?
Yeah, of course. Do you watch the contest?
12.
Dunk them in water.
12.
Change
10 to 12 with buns.
If I liked hot dogs, I would destroy all of you in an eating contest.
Well, Jack,
that's
you also
large caveat.
Yeah, that's one thing.
Yeah,
because
so
you also
I
don't
would lose the hot dog contest.
But you also don't really drink beer, and you do a beer mile pretty well.
I did the Big Texan Steak Challenge, which is 72-ounce steak and 5 sides, and I was literally 2 bites away with the potato before time ran up. So I can put down.
So you didn't win that either?
No, but I still ate like 7 pounds of food in one setting, so I feel like I can eat at least 10 or 12 hot dogs. Like you said.
I don't think liking hot dogs is a prerequisite. When you're dunking your hot dog in water, the taste is out the window.
Yeah.
To get them down.
Yeah, it's about how fast can you just open up that gullet.
Yeah, I don't think Joey Chestnut is like picky about the taste of his.
Don't you guys wonder like what their 24 hours after that is like? Like that's all I can think about when I see them do this is like, what's the next 24 hours like?
I know if it were me, the moment the time limit passes, I'm going off stage and I'm a yammy. You got to get it out.
That'd be so rough though. It would be really rough throwing that up, I think.
I don't know. I think
I'm thinking the other end.
What? Yeah, I don't want it going through.
You don't want to live your day after eating 20 hot dogs and just be like,
I've done 2 volume-based contests in my life. And both times I expelled everything I could, and it was really rough getting it up. But then I was normal after that. And all the other people that digested it had a rough like 3 to 5 days. So
was it gallon challenge?
I did the gallon challenge. Yeah.
Did you finish?
I did not.
No, I got really close.
I did Chocorific. That was a bad choice.
Right off the jump, putting yourself. You thought it was going to be too
so. Anyways, easy. I think you puke and rally.
See, there's a condition out there because I looked this up. I was curious. You start to think about the volume. How many hot dogs did it take to win? Like 50,
63.
63. And there's a condition where like your stomach gets so full that it puts pressure on your heart. You just go into cardiac arrest because there's no room for your heart to be. And I'm like, if you got 63 hot dogs in there, like, is your heart just shoved into the little corner of your chest cavity and it's just hanging on for dear life? That's what I wonder.
The OG, the Kobayashi, his stomach was actually set lower in his abdomen. Like, so it was like, and so it kind of would press out. So maybe that was why he was able
legal
to
cheating
eat and not.
He could give birth to hot dogs, basically. Like he had the room to.
Did you watch his documentary?
I think that's where I found it.
It's worth watching. He's putting up legit world-class athlete training in the gym on a daily basis, plus eating. Like he's doing 100-mile weeks of eating. It's wild.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys remember that show Man vs. Beast? They basically had a bunch of humans take on unknowing animals in contests, and they had Kobayashi against a grizzly bear in a hot dog eating contest. And it was obviously the grizzly bear won, but they had like this electric fence separating the two, and you could just see the fear in his eyes when he's like, "I'm 10 feet away from a grizzly bear, and I've got a hot dog eating contest."
Link in bio. Put that in there.
Yeah, it's a Google search that, you'll find some great ones. You'll see I think it was Maurice Green racing an ostrich. You've got some good ones.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
Kirk, when you were charged by a black bear, how many hot dogs could you put down in the next 10 minutes after that?
I don't think I could have eaten a single one.
No,
I can't imagine my performance. Yeah.
All right. So today we're here to talk about the 4th stop at the Spartan Race Elite Series. That's Utah. So heading into the race on the men's side, VJ has it seems like a comfortable lead right now in terms of the points. With Atkins behind, and then it's Batchus Ryland and Nick Mask rounding out the top 5. So Kurt, going into this race, how do you see these standings kind of changing the way the athletes might approach things?
Could you list up those top 5 again for, let's just say, the men in order?
So VJ has 836, Atkins has 696, Badgers has 648, Ryland has 564, and Nick Mask has 494. And this, do we know exactly how many points you get for first from second? I should know this. I don't.
264 for second.
So 300 for first.
Okay.
Second, third, fourth are closer to second than second is to first.
That's crazy.
No, I think we don't. I don't think we see the standings for those top, and I'm sure the women are the same. Like, I think everybody's smart enough to know in a mountain beast, there's going to be a little bit of swing of aggression early, maybe some attempts to stay in contact, guys that lose it early often. But I don't know, man. And if it was a sprint or a super, different case. But I think people are just going to ride their bodies out where they think they can feel it based on what they know their fitness is. I don't think you're going to see any mistakes happen or like change in tactics because it's a 2+ hour race. Just my opinion. Shorter race, yes. Longer race, I don't think so.
So you're thinking the distance and just the sheer amount of volume that's up against the athletes will deter them from doing anything crazy.
I think they'll respect the distance.
Their fitness is just going to play out.
That's what I think is going to happen, yeah. I mean, you'll see Botchus go out quick on the first climb like usual. I'd like to see VJ be a little more aggressive off the gun, right? Like maybe he will. He's had better training, I would imagine, than before Mexico based on what we had heard. So, or Big Bear.
Now, from your guys' perspective, if you were looking at if you were in VJ's spot and you're like, okay, and you know Atkins has a fourth. He's going to have to at least have a fourth place on his final score. Like say Atkins wins the next 2. He's still going to have a fourth place there where VJ has a third. Like, would that change? Would you try to aim for a floor on what you would want to go after? Like, Jack, how would you approach racing? Would it change anything for you?
If I'm VJ, I would want to lock it up. If you do as best you can here, I would go aggressive and try to get the best place finish. Because worst case, you drop the race, just like Atkins is going to do with his 7th. And if he does well, he doesn't even have to go to Canada, and then he can put in a big uninterrupted training block for Abu Dhabi. That's what I'd do.
Yeah, I think that would be the best case scenario. And then you figure this course is going to be one that's going to be better for VJ than a Canada at sea level, kind of probably nasty mountain type of course. So I'm interested to see what this is looking like. Bracken, what are your thoughts on the men's side leading in after the first 3 races of the national series under our belts?
I think the series starts at the conclusion of Utah. Like the runners, quote unquote runners, they've had 2 races. They're not going to get another one. The mountain guys have had 1, and it wasn't a beast. So this is their second race, and it's in their wheelhouse. So even though there is a gap, I can't even trust it until they've got the same amount of chances that the runners have. So I'm not reading into any, and I don't think it can even play into tactics yet, because it'll play into tactics once it's 2-2, and 2, it is going to be so hot this weekend, and we've seen people crumble there in temperatures that were not quite as nasty as this. I think that commit to an early beast pace really undermines people's strategy more than anything. So this might be a more tactical beast rather than a let's just throw it out there and see what happens race.
What are we looking at for temps? You said it's supposed to be hot. What is it looking like?
I thought it was going to be like mid-80s halfway through the race. Like,
really?
It's getting up there.
Okay.
Yeah, high of 98, low of 71.
It's not going to be 98 at 11 in the morning. But for the women, it was like a 3-hour race last year for the end of the top 10. They're going to be out there for a while.
You guys know how it is when it's hot a few days in a row, even when it drops down to like 78 in the morning, it doesn't really feel the same. Like there is something trapped below, in those valleys in the mountains that it's really warm and it feels different. So yeah, this is a sun-drenched course. There's no hiding in trees on this course. Mm-mm. I believe that we're going to see blow-ups, or we're going to see people learn from last year and slow play their race.
What I remember about that course is like the mountain has a unique way until you get to the very top of like blocking all wind too. So you're like running in this like completely still dry air with no breeze until you start descending because you're going fast and you're creating your own wind. That's it. So yeah, you're right.
So Oh, good.
I rewatched this week again just to reacquaint myself with this course, and it looked so bad. Hawk Call staggering off the tire. It's the closest I've seen to a high-level athlete blacking out in a Spartan race. And watching Atkins, just seeing Hawk ahead of him, and usually we would see Atkins take advantage of a steep section, and he kind of just relaxed for a little bit and waited. You don't see those things happen unless people are suffering, and it's going to be hotter this year.
Although it's the same time of year that it was last year, it seems like the series is in a completely different place, because this was the second stop in the national series last year, just because we weren't sure. There were still races being canceled. All the West Coast races got pushed into the fall. So I think a lot of that had to do with the conditioning of the athletes leading into this race, just because it was the first beast. They hadn't really seen the mountains, and it was almost we were unsure if these races were going to happen. I'm anticipating these athletes are going to be much more prepared for this, because Kirk, the year we ran in 19, right? That was that was a beast, right?
That was a super.
Oh, that was a super.
But that was the old super distance, so it was. I mean, it was like an 8.5 mile race. But yeah, it was super.
Right, because I remember it not being. I guess that was because of the distance, but I was thinking that it didn't really crush people the way that it did last year. So I'll be interested to see that, like if the people are going to be a little bit more conditioned, or if this one was circled on a lot of calendars, pulling way back out of like 8-12 weeks to prepare a longer mountain block for us, to see how that kind of changes the way people are approaching this.
Yeah, I think we're going to know the outcome of this entire series. I mean, at least on the men's side, after this race. I think it's already going to be wrapped up. It's the big battle between VJ and Atkins, like where those two like jockey each other. Like at the end of this, I think we could 99% predict the winner of this whole series, right? Like it could be locked up after this race.
Yeah.
Is that the case, Jack? Mathematically, like what could happen?
I mean,
I haven't played out the scenarios. I'd imagine you have.
I was going to say, you kind of broke it down early with if you have a third or you have a fourth on your resume, and you have a win or two and then a second, maybe, like whoever has the best worst score, you're going to come out ahead. It's pretty obvious.
Well, because Atkins could come out of this with 2 wins to VJ's 2 wins, or VJ ends up, who knows? And then he would have to be, if he got better than 4th, it would be a wrap.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. And I imagine the tiebreaker is if they end up both having like 1-1, 4-4, 1-1, 4-4, identical for all 4 placements, it's probably your best drop race. So that might require, if VJ was planning on skipping Canada, for instance, if he had it locked up after this race, he might have to go in order to, have a head-to-head win. Kind of like what happened last year. It was whoever won head-to-head in Big Bear. That was your series champ. So a lot on the line this race for VJ.
This race weekend always excites me because Utah is full of drama. But the men's side excites me more because the women's side, well, I shouldn't say that this year with no Lindsay. It's going to be a battle. But on the men's side, we suddenly have this core group of racers who are known as closers. Like Ryland shows he's going to close off every race, especially a mountain race. Atkins is going to close out. That VJ, when he does well at beasts, it's second half movement and in the mountains. And so it puts the pressure on any other athlete who wants to do well to react to that, to either have something in the tank to try to match Ryland's and Atkins and VJ's close, or to drop them. And that, to me, makes this the most exciting race on my calendar of the championship series this year, which I wouldn't have said last year, but the style of racing really makes this course exciting.
Don't forget about last year, how hot it was. And a lot of people, Atkins came out, he's like, stop making excuses for the heat. You knew it was coming back to Utah. Everyone should be prepared. So I think you're going to see better performances across the board now that the heat excuse is no longer a thing. People know what to expect this year.
That's right. Wasn't it after this race, the Atkins post that caused all the drama? That was Utah. He was
bulletin board material.
Calling everybody babies. Speaking of Atkins and Lindsay, I don't understand the deal with the passports there, because Lindsay says she's not coming because she can't get across the border or something, but Atkins can. But Ryan can. What's the deal there, Jack? You messaged them both.
I don't think Lindsay was planning on doing this race because it was something like 6 straight weekends with the race and a bunch of international travel, and she just kind of wanted a little bit of time off. And she's doing a gravel bike race around the same time and I think that she just kind of wanted a little bit of time off from racing because it's a lot. This is a lot for someone who's retired.
Yeah, this is what retirement means to her, is that she's not going to do every race and win. And really, she doesn't need to do this race at all.
And let's not overlook, like, Bracken, you're like, oh, with Lindsay being out is a massive, massive deal for this race. Yeah. Do you guys know the last time that someone not named Lindsay or Nicole won a U.S. National Series race?
Yes, so not the North American Championships last year. That doesn't count.
U.S. National Series race, North American Elite. I'm talking your 2016. No.
Well, Emma won North American Champ.
Well, Emma won last year.
I'm not talking North American Champ. I'm talking
the series.
Your series. Yep.
Was it Rhea?
San Jose?
2018 Big Bear. It's been over 1,500 days since someone other than Lindsay or Nicole won a U.S. National Series race. That's a long time in the sports world. So we're about to see something different. It's insane to think they've been that dominant for so long. And Nicole's been on the shelf for the past year. So impressive.
I do want to reply to your heat comment. I know you meant it tongue in cheek, but now that excuse is gone, I don't think it changes anything. The people who live in the cold still live in the cold.
Right.
Like Albin, how many years did he know altitude was coming until he finally beat it?
It's true.
You know, you can't, I can know that it's going to be hot. If I suck in the heat, I still suck in the heat.
Yeah. I agree with that.
So yeah, not having Lindsay here is probably going to change some of the dynamics because she's obviously has a perfect score right now in this series with 900 total. Then it's Chris in second with 704. Alex is 676. Then Rose, and then Faye Morgan in the mix of 444. Rose has 656. So, I mean, there could be a lot of shuffling happening there in the middle. And also, it's worth noting Annie isn't going to be at this race either. Yep. So it does kind of open up. Like, does it make this race more competitive at the top in terms of shifting around, or does it just kind of separate that like pack below Lindsay and just kind of make it pretty certain who's going to be in the top 5?
For the point series, you have to think Lindsay has been a lock. She's taking up the big mover sections. Like the higher up you place, the bigger the gap between places. Once you get to 5, 6, you know, it might be only 10, 20 points between spaces instead of 30-ish. So now these women who are only separated, you said Rose and Alex were only like 20 points apart or so.
Yeah.
One of them might be able to actually make up a little bit of ground because those points are available with Lindsay being out and Annie as well.
You know what happens when the big boss doesn't show up on the playground one day? Chaos. Everyone loses their freaking minds. And this is the day. And I'm going to be Team Cat. And they just go crazy. When this happens, people change the way they race. So yes, it's true that you just take the top off and everyone bumps up, but they don't bump up the same because they're not going to race the same. It's not the same race, take out a 10-minute lead. It's now utter chaos. And it's who can keep their mind at the same time taking advantage of this situation, this opportunity that's been presented to themselves.
What's the Emma status? Is she racing?
Yes.
So really, yes. I mean, we're replacing Lindsay with Emma at this point based on previous. Emma just beat Lindsay in a trail race, correct? And so yes, there's going to be chaos, but there's like a queen bee out on course still that is absolutely running the show and would have to fail 4 to 6 things to lose this race. In my opinion. And her name is Emma Cook-Clark. Yeah.
First is gone. However, Annie's not there either. So every woman who's in a battle for their point series knows that second is a possibility and third and fourth, things that they may have. If you're a 5th through 8th person, you could maybe take 2nd through 5th today. If you're a 3rd place person, second. So there are points up for grab for the first time this year. So you are correct. There still is going to be some semblance of order at the top, but there is a vacuum still.
That's where this race I feel like is going to be the most interesting, is from 5 to like 12, probably because Bracken, I do agree with that's what's going to happen in these races. It's hard to know where you stand, hard to know where to go out. If Emma wasn't in this race, I think it'd be really interesting at the top to see who was assertive and who would be aggressive. But that 5 through 12, like you're right, are people going to try to push themselves up because they see this as an opportunity and blow up too early? Are people going to be a little bit more conservative, or are they going to kind of latch onto those groups? So that's where I think it's going to be the hardest to really predict who's going to do what, is in that second pack coming in.
I think they aren't going to run their race depending on whether or not Lindsay is there or how Emma is, because they're usually so far out ahead that it would be like if we got on the same start line as Atkins. Well, I guess Kirk, you're pretty close up there, but like in some of these races, it's like you just know you're not gonna hang with him. So I'm not going to adjust my pace according to him. I think people are still going to run their own race, but you'll see more back and forth shifting or a little bit more aggressive within their own packs still.
So, Kirk, what's before this race, what's one thing that you're most eager to learn about, like the outcome? Like, what are you looking forward to the most?
I just want, honestly, I mean, I think on the women's side, because Lindsay's been so dominant, we have an idea how this thing's going to shake out. Emma's going to win. We're going to see her creep closer on the points front, but we kind of know where the series is going to head there. On the men's side, it's like everybody wants to see the VJ Atkins battle. Is Atkins going to come back and beat VJ and put his stamp and place an opportunity to still win the series? And so, like, it seems like every race it's the same damn thing, but it's a show worth watching. It's the Atkins VJ show once again, and it's going to be that way. For me, without question, that's all I'll be watching. So that's what I'm excited to see play out.
I think I'm interested in like that mid pack because there's still the depth of the men's race is still there. It's going to be really, really strong. But I think you're right up front. Like, you'll probably have the same type of people mixing it up. I'm interested to see how those other guys kind of, if they do engage and how they're going to kind of press, because it's a deep field of good mountain runners in this race.
Yeah,
it's a shame that like Lars, I would have loved seeing him there after he just got third at Mount Marathon. This would have been a dangerous course for him.
All right, so let's get into some of the drafting. So today we're drafting our teams. Last time I won. The scores are now I'm 4-2, KB Corral 4-2, Jack, you're 1-5.
Can you protest results off of like terrible luck? Like, is there like a one waiver we can get off of just complete bullshit getting bent over by the unique, perfect set of circumstances sabotaging our score? Is that possible? Bracken, do you think you want to protest?
You basically had the spear throw happen to you in Mexico with your draft?
Sure. Go ahead and play that card, Jack.
I feel like Dr. Strange was there and he said, this is the one way. Like, this is the 1 in 20 million routes or billion that you lose this course.
I would generally say, Kirk, yes, you could go into protest, but since you guys drafted at least 2 athletes who you knew weren't going to be there, I think the case gets no precedent, no case. There
was a 0.01% chance Chris Brown was going to race.
Chris Brown has said that 3 times this year and showed up once. By my count, that is 33.333%.
It's not great odds. In hindsight, it looks bad, but also, like I said, in regular sight in 2020, it was like, this is kind of strange what you guys are doing here. This might not work. And
all that said, think of the unique situation we created, and Jack still couldn't get it. That was it. That was it. That was Jordan airballing a free throw with a tie game. Like, this was your chance. And
it's all right. I could still go undefeated the rest of the year.
Yeah, you could.
Yep.
And Chris Brown might show up tomorrow.
Chris Brown said 100% he will not be. He used the number 100% and he didn't say rounding up. So I'm going to give it to him that it truly is 100%. So draft him at your own peril.
But you can still keep him.
You got to imagine for Chris Brown, that's got to be tough. He's got to like bite his tongue, so to speak, in the racing sense, to have to go show up to these races and literally have to work instead of race in a course in which he could very well go out and maybe even win.
Chris was going to win that race.
Oh, like it would just be it. Really, he could win Utah. He could win Utah if he towed the line. And here he is, like putting on a Spartan shirt and working. I just think that's got to be difficult.
Who's a better altitude half marathon runner in the sport in the U.S. right now than Chris Brown? I don't think anyone beats him on that course.
Yeah,
because he can run as fast as the Mexican athletes could, except he was going to make all the obstacles. And I think he can swim.
What's his 10-foot wall? What's his 10-foot wall situation?
I don't know. Anyway, let's move on.
Chris Brown can dunk. You've seen him in the Celebrity All-Star game.
Breezy. All right, so we draft 5 men, 5 women, 1 wild card. We're going snake style. We're allowed 1 keeper outside of our top 2 picks. Jack, could you kind of get that queued up so we can look and see who our keepers are going to be? It's cross-country scoring, but it's the sum of our top 7, not top 5, and it's men and women combined lowest score wins. Dual meet scoring, so there's head-to-head scoring each time. So we have 2 outcomes each week. So let's take a look at who we are going to keep. I have an idea. I don't have an idea. I know who I'm keeping. So I can go first.
Myself here.
So I can go ahead and go first.
Rich, who you got right here?
I'm going to go ahead and take Chris Rogloski there with my third pick.
Third pick. Okay, we'll just remember it because we don't know the order of picks yet. So
yeah, we'll do the order.
I thought it was round 4 later.
Yeah, what are we looking at here?
There's a dash next to keeper right here. So
after round 2,
round 3.
Yeah,
I thought it was after round 3.
Yeah.
I smell collusion.
Bracken and Kirk, who you going with?
You didn't think that until right this second. You knew.
So,
well, these are your eligible picks.
I would either keep no one or one person. Kirk clearly above the rest. What are you thinking?
Chris Brown is available.
Yeah, let's let him go this time. I mean, Alex has been pretty consistent. I could go either way on this one.
I was either no one or Alex.
Yeah. Well, it is a little more open. We got one spot that is now available up front. The women's field is going to be a little easier to predict than the men's field up front in the top 5. I mean, it does become chaos later on, but I think it'd be safe to keep her.
I think if she's normally a 3 to 5 lock and you take 2 out, that math, which I'm not good at, says we should keep her.
I think we should keep her.
All right. So
all right. Chris Brown it is.
All right.
Can I just lament the fact that we've been robbed of the greatest season series head-to-head battle in history? I think Lindsay and Emma have talked about this and robbed us of this. They've rigged the system because Emma, her chance to do it was Mexico, and she doesn't go. And now she smokes her in a technical mountain running and answers the question about can she run technical and descend. And now they don't both come to Utah. This series could be 2-2 heading into Canada. Instead, we're not going to see a throwdown. We're not going to see a battle. We're not going to see an official changing of the guard, and I'm mad about it.
Yeah, it's because it's 4th of July, the week of 4th of July, and they're Canadian. They just want to screw over America seeing it.
When's Canada Day? That's at some. That's
that was this last weekend. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're just celebrating.
You asked me, Rich, about what I was excited the most to see, and I would say like above the VJ Atkins battle, if Lindsay was here, I think the Emma Lindsay battle would take precedence over anything. Yeah.
Quick question:
Prime Jordan and LeBron, and we don't get to watch them both with Emma and Nicole, and it is killing me as a fan of the sport.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to say, I'm pretty scared being the rabbit for the women's race, trying to keep up with Emma this weekend. It's gonna be tough.
You got to pick your spots. You got to study that map. We haven't seen the map. I didn't mean to make mention of that. Last year, it got about 4,000 feet. With like two really massive climbs, and then one that's like pretty substantial. We don't know what it's going to look like though.
Jack, are you tapering for this? Because you should be.
You probably should be.
Yeah. Probably should. I'm going to do like a half workout tomorrow and then just coast it until Saturday.
You should taper, and you should know every switchback on that course, so you can start cutting corners, brother.
Yeah.
Real quick on that.
if they can wave light for track, I think rabbit doping should be available.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is no discredit to your fitness. This is just the credit to
I'm
Emma's
well aware that there's Emma and then there's me in terms of mountain fitness right now.
Unbelievable.
So, yeah.
That race that Emma beat Lindsay in, that was a VK, correct?
No,
they ran that
half hour.
It was a VK in route. Like I think the beginning of the course, they laid out a VK, didn't they? Somewhere in there, and then continued on.
The Minotaur is a super technical ridge running, mountain running race.
Oh, nice. How long is it? Because they're all over the place, right, with their distances.
I thought it was 25K, but I could be wrong. Like scree running descents, nasty stuff.
I saw the rock, like it was all crazy scree. Like the rocks were just all it was.
That's a check mark in Emma's column that we weren't sure about.
Big time.
Whew.
Big time.
All right, who are you keeping?
Considering I was Team Mexico and no one from Team Mexico is going to be here, it's Woods will not be racing. It's either Ashley Heller or Nick Mask. I think I'm just going to pass on the keepers this time.
Really?
No keeper.
It's
That
too
would
bad
be-
Woodsy isn't racing, isn't
Yeah.
it? If
Woods
he had
would have been
Forrest
my-
again, I would love to
Yeah.
see him on.
But since I took Woods as the keeper last time, he would have had to have been my number 1 pick, which I would not have done this time.
I mean, Heller's value on this course, and Nick, oof.
Yeah. No,
Neither
I get
you
it.
nor
There's-
Rich believe in torque.
How dare you?
Maybe you'll have a chance this time to pick up Nick. I believe in him. He's going to crush it, but I don't know.
Dare you.
Might be able to get a value pick later.
So, okay, we got our keepers in. Jack, let's talk about actually let's spin the wheel. It's time. We're spinning this wheel.
That's part of the show.
That's part of the show. Let's spin this freaking wheel. And then Jack, I want you to kind of go over who
won't be there.
Who won't be there. But
Yeah.
first, let's share this screen. A reminder that we are also on YouTube, so you can see this wheel for yourself. Subscribe, comment, the whole deal. Can you see it?
Yeah,
There it
a lot of me on there. That's kind
Yeah,
of
Jack, I just put you on it like 10 times, and then I would just put the rest of us on there once. Ready?
That Venga CBD plug. You are a true professional.
How about that? They know
All right.
it's good targeting.
This is
And-
good. Whoa. Yeah. Okay, Rich. Okay.
I just
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and remove
rigged.
myself from that.
That is
Wow.
so rigged.
He
Now we have-
committed to drafting torque first, so that's fine for us. Continue.
We have 5.
No, you need to.
Jacks.
Which slot you going?
I actually got to think about this. Jack, I'm gonna
Yeah.
spin this while I think.
Spin the wheel. If I lose on this, there is some serious inside job when I was out getting the water. Oh, it's getting dangerously close.
All right. All right, the crow, you get the last one.
Mhm.
All right.
Yep.
So
Spin it.
when I was
Don't
when
deny me.
when I was thinking about this, I was thinking Jack would win the wheel, but he can't win anything. So
No.
I don't know what I'm gonna
Yeah.
do here. All right, I'll take the first pick.
I'll take second.
You want to take that third spot?
No, I want first.
We'll take first pick of the second round.
Deal.
Sounds great.
Okay.
Jack,
Where
who's
would you-
not coming today?
Let's
weekend.
see. All right.
It's
on the
a-
women's
it's a-
side.
Disappointing list for me.
Yeah.
Few people I'd really like to see there that are.
Yeah.
And those Mexicans, damn it. Why can't they come up and follow up the showing in
Validate.
Mexico? Yeah.
Mhm.
Come on, Eugenio. What the heck?
Camacho.
You know that 6 of the top 10 spots were from Mexico on the men's side, so there's some talent at elevation again. Like, would have been great to see them.
Where's Bertha
all right.
at?
Yeah. All right. Biggest names on the on the women's side who will not be there: Annie Doobie, 2nd place last year. Ariel Fitzgerald was like 6th or 7th. Let's see. Faye Stenning obviously won't be there. Leanne Wasney has podiumed here in the past, but she hasn't raced for a long time. Biggest name, Lindsay
Not to
Webster.
interrupt you. Sorry, Jack. Does anybody know the deal with Leanne Wastoney? Because she just is off the scene out of nowhere. Is she done, or is she just taking a breather? Any insight there, Jack? I know you snuck into her DMs.
I'm not. I haven't got a response. So
Okay.
yeah.
Cut herself off completely.
All
Yep. She got overlooked too much.
right. She's a great athlete.
Yeah. So Lindsay Webster, obviously, that's the biggest missing name. Miriam earlier this year said she was going to try to get to a couple of races. We haven't seen her yet. She's not making the trip just for this either. And probably Sarah Kaz, I would have liked to have seen how she did. And then
Wasn't
on the
this
men's
Leanne's
side-
breakout race? This in
She-
West Virginia?
She took
This
third
one.
here.
Yeah. Man, I want to see her on course.
she beat
Mhm.
Lindsay in the sprint. I think Lindsay failed like the spear or something on the day after, but she beat Lindsay. That doesn't happen. So in Utah, so that's a good course for her. Men, Aaron Newell, Angel Quintero. Just going down the list. Ian Hosick. Oh, Hobie Call was supposed to be here. Then he hurt his ankle about a week ago, and he's pulling the plug, unfortunately. Apparently it was real bad, but according to Hawk, he really wanted to have that father-son rivalry and just put his dad in the grave. So would have been fun to see. Chris Brown, Lars Arneson, Kirk, you're not racing.
You didn't ask me.
All the
How do you
Mexicans.
know?
Maybe you're going. That's
I know
true.
for
I
a
should've.
fact Kirk was looking at flights 48 hours ago.
Oh,
I was.
really?
And
And
this
yet
morning.
you don't ask him.
Do you have an update? Rich or Bracken, are you racing? I forgot to include you.
I'm gonna sit this one out.
Sit in
I'll
this
let
one
them
out.
have this one.
Yeah.
I didn't tell you what venue I was looking at flights to, but I was looking at flights.
Yeah. And then let's see. Sean Stevens Whale, great climber. That would have been fun to see him. And Robert Killian will be on site, but he's not running the beast. Yep.
All right. All right.
We have a potential full podium on the men's and women's side, not there. Potential. Stars might have to align, but you have at least 3 people on each side that could be top 3. And that's disappointing.
Oh, and Ryan Woods. Forgot to mention. He won't be there.
I'd assume this would be probably the most stacked race after Slow on both sides. Just thinking the way it lines up, people love the Utah venue. It aligns midsummer when people's fitnesses are hitting peak. I thought everybody would be there, and here it is, the second sparsest race, I would say, of the series.
I think it frightens people.
Mm-hmm.
I think this course is one of those that there's no redeeming quality that lifts it up over its nasty parts. It's too runnable for the technical people. It's too hot for the people living in the mountains all winter. It's just unrelenting. And I don't think it has the draw of the Killington or the Big Bear for the mystique. It's just nasty for the sake of nasty. And I think people avoid that.
Plus, we have to look at the next race that these athletes will be. It's going to be Kelowna in August. So if this is kind of if the series isn't important to you, you can kind of skip over this race and be in peak performance for the North American Championship. I think that's what's happening a lot here, is that people are just kind of evaluating, like, should I travel here or should I just do Canada and have a better shot at winning some money? Because there's good money at the North American Championships. This race, if you're in the hunt, you can make some, but it's not like going to pay out huge for people who couldn't make Mexico, for instance.
And it's a pricey travel city. Salt Lake's not easy to fly into price wise. So yeah, I guess if you got to choose Canada or this,
and that's going to be fun. The Kelowna race is going to be fun. Are you ready to draft?
Yeah. Sharing the screen.
I'm on the clock. I'm going to go ahead and are we ready?
Just say your name. Just say your name.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go ahead and take Emma Cook Clark here. I'm gonna go ahead and
Shocker.
I would never wish a bad performance upon an athlete, but just for Rich's arrogance sake, what if a trust incident happened or something bizarre?
Too much integrity.
She's too
no chance. Because this is a longer race. I mean, the obstacles are dry. We've seen her do Tahoe pretty well. I don't foresee her making a big enough mistake here where anyone in this field, I'm assuming the spear is going to be at the end of the race, which it has been in the past couple of years. And it is a trickier spear because it's a long race and they put it kind of on like this hill, but she might be winning by 10 minutes by that point.
Or more.
And it was a penalty. This is the only place I think we saw a penalty loop spear was last year during this.
Yep. Yeah. You have those spear throws at the end of a long mountain altitude race, and it's always a recipe for 50% of the field missing their spears. It's wild how that happens, but it's like clockwork every time.
All right. Over under 10 minutes that she wins by.
Over.
You're going over?
I don't want to discredit the rest of the athletes because there's some really good ones in the field, but I'm going over as well.
Yeah.
Same.
Well, it seems like the smart money's on the under, so I'm gonna go ahead and take the under, just in case. Get better odds that way, it appears.
And I hope some of those women behind her use this as fuel.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That's a comment on her greatness, not their lack of whatever.
100%.
Exactly. Yep.
Because I guess the only other thing is the heat, right?
I think she'll be fine.
I think she'll be fine too. She's extremely tough. I don't think she's going to really think about something like that.
Isn't she
You're going to see her going out there. There'll be about 20 interactions with the cameraman on her behalf out there on course. She's going to be saying sorry for things and laughing and joking with everybody the entire way. We're going to see that version. She'll be up for a fun run.
10 minutes is a lot.
Yep. All right. I'm in a tough spot.
I know.
Because there are a lot of people who could do well, a lot of people who couldn't. I still think the safest bet in the men's field, Ryan Atkins, just based on him winning here last year. Mr. Consistency. So who's
I think
beat him
we're in the
this year?
driver's seat, Kirk.
We're in the driver's seat. Excuse me.
I think so.
I actually, I don't know. I didn't like this. I mean, we'll see. Let's talk about Atkins real fast. I mean, we got to imagine there is some urgency on his end here. If he doesn't win, he pretty much doesn't have a shot at the series, and he's still in it, but he does need to win this one.
He just won a mountain course in Big Bear. Won this course last year, knows exactly how to go into it, and he was only biking last year, if I'm not mistaken, and he's been running this year. So I don't know. I feel like he's the safe bet, but he might not even get third. Like there are a lot of people who could upend him.
And we quote Atkins said that his running was as bad as it had been when he was in Utah last year, and he still won.
Almost on experience alone, right?
Yeah.
Right? He went out pretty conservative, let Hawk go out, kind of caught up to him, didn't really blow him away, kind of hung around there, and then made his move when it was time toward the bottom of the hill. But he knows how to do this race, knows how to do this distance. I think it's a good pick, Jack.
I kind of envy having back-to-back picks here because you have so many riches to choose from.
Riches.
We could clean out the female podium and just go Rhea Rose. We could you could go VJ Ryland. You could go.
I don't think we can't get through these two picks without picking VJ. We just can't. So he has to be one of the two.
Well, and it worked last time. We took him with our third pick, and he won the race. So I think we agree. We lock in VJ.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
You could make an argument for like 8 people with this next pick.
Yeah, I think. Okay, I'm going to list off mine. You list off yours. I think Hawk, Rylan, Rose, Rhea are my 4 most obvious.
Yeah. Here's the deal. We have Emma, Alex, and Chris gone, right, on the women's side.
Yeah.
And that very well could be 1, 2, 3, right?
Yeah.
But some of these men could take a top 3 that are left on the board, right? They could win the thing. Like there's
Rhea and Rose are the last 2 podium threats in my mind. And there are 3 or 4 podium threats on the men's side.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the Herquist, I would just say Hawk on this course in his backyard.
Should we just take Rylan? He's not coming back to us.
You got Rylan as well. God, and he said he was in good shape.
So fired up and in shape.
His hometown. It's pretty close. He's going to be as familiar with this as anybody. He's probably had this one circled. He didn't taper for the last one.
But wasn't Rose in third here last year till she like cramped out on the on Helix or something?
I think she ended up finishing third. Yeah, she cramped.
She was in second. Like Rose really raced well here last year.
So for me, it's Rose or Rylan.
Oh,
there are 3 picks before we pick again. Will one of them make it back to us?
Nope. Neither one.
So who has the bigger ceiling?
I think Rylan could sneak a win out of blue. I don't think Rose is going to win.
All right.
If you want to use that as...
Should we take Rylan?
Rylan, don't let us down, brother.
And Rose, I hope you fall to us on the next pick.
Lock Rylan in?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Nice. I mean...
Second place here last year, wearing pants in the heat. That was crazy.
Mm-hmm. That's a page out of Atkins' playbook here.
Yes.
He likes to wear those tights and no shirt.
For sure. So, I mean, I like it. They're huge upside. You're right. I mean, he could win for sure. He could get 10th.
Stop that. You want to know the thing about
he took better than 10th in the Flat San Luis Obispo course. He's not taking 10th.
He could take 10th.
Anybody who's worn long tights on hot days, I made that mistake once in Big Bear years ago. Once you sweat through those things, they're like built-in coolers. You got sopping wet tights on, and they actually work the opposite for you. Once you sweat through them good, it's getting there that you start overheating. But once those things are saturated, they're fantastic.
You have to overheat to get there.
You do.
I say you just soak them in ice water before the start.
True.
Yeah.
Be a terrain race.
You wear white ones like Isaiah did for a race?
Yeah, that was a bad look.
Statement.
You were in that race, right, Bracken?
Yeah.
Did you beat him?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'm 22-11 lifetime, according to Jack Bauer or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Jack, you put in some work on those stats this last week.
I did.
High quality stats.
It's eye opening, but it's for future use. Like we can always add to it, or I can. So, yeah. Anyway, my pick. I know I'm gonna get one of the women back, so I'm taking the best available guy, and I'm going hot call.
Okay.
He could win.
He could win.
I think he's gonna.
Good.
The only question I have is that he hasn't looked as good as he looked last year. I think we thought we were going to see Hawk 2.0, and it's almost like Hawk the same, or Hawk with less youthful exuberance. Like he's not racing with the same panache he raced with last year. So maybe it comes out today, but maybe it doesn't.
Isn't that the exact reason why he will come out and perform well? Because he's got to feel a little bit of that dulling in people's minds. And he's like, screw that. I'm going to go show them. Let them know, as they say.
Well, last year we really only saw him here. Where else did we see Hawk?
That was
Just
it?
here.
That was
Just
it.
here, right? So maybe this is his style of course. We would think something like slow would be a course for him. And I mean, he did finish fourth. He had a chance to finish third, right? And his other race, Big Bear, who knows? It's on such steeps like that. This is in his backyard. He's already raced well
Proven
here once. He's gonna learn from that. I mean, if he didn't go out as hard as he did last year, I think he gets second for sure.
Yeah.
He must
No
have
tire
been
flip.
gassed. No
Don't
tire
forget
flip.
about that.
Yeah. This may be a dumb question, but his brother is coming as well, right?
Forrest, yeah.
Is his brother of any sort of threat? I don't know his ability level.
I could look it up, but he said something along the lines of "My brother's better than me."
Mm-hmm. Hobie said the same thing.
And he's racing. His brother is racing.
He's 15, I believe. 14, 15.
Oh, but he's 15. Okay.
And Rylan has a younger brother also who's pretty legit.
Wouldn't that be something if Hawk's younger brother comes in and ends up putting his mark as like a 15-year-old? If they say he's better, they're probably not lying.
I think he's built more. I think he's a little bit more of like that stockier build. I think Hawk was the better runner and Forrest was the like made for OCR is what I remember Hobie saying.
Yeah. Do you want to know, speaking of kids of athletes, you want to know who one of the rabbits is? Josiah's son. So
he's fast.
He's fast.
They both are.
Should he be in charge of following Emma, or is he on the?
I'll have him take the initial climb. I'll get on the downhills.
There you go.
All right, Rich.
Reach. I'm gonna take Rose here.
All right.
Damn you.
And then I had Chris in the following picks. Let's talk about them both really fast. Yeah, like Kirk had mentioned, she was right in contention for second. A Helix game changer, believe it or not. I like it.
The classic Helix cramp.
Yeah. We see it so often. But I mean, it's wide open. She could be on the podium. She could be second. You know, and what's the lowest she's gonna be? Fourth?
Fifth at worst. Yeah.
Fifth at absolute worst. And if something goes catastrophically wrong. So Rose, I like this pick here.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. You locked in Chris Rogowski.
Let's touch on her real fast too, just so we don't kind of glaze over that.
Yeah, she doesn't get enough love on this podcast.
No, never.
You know what? Actually, I was waiting for her to come up because I want to issue a formal apology to Chris. Because
again, I feel like you're always doing this. You guys doubt her all the time.
Well, that's why I'm going to apologize, because I think I've been the biggest, like, rent's going to come due. She's going to go down in flames. And at this point, like, I know you all have decided this earlier than I have, that she is just bulletproof, but I'm done doubting Chris in any capacity. I don't care if she runs 100-miler the day before. Chris, I'm sorry for doubting you. Perpetually will be on your side moving forward. I feel like I've been a little hard on her, and I've never been right.
One of your only bad take, one of your historical worst takes is the first draft when I thought she might be top 5. And you're like, I don't know. And we're just like, I don't know. Like, if we look back on that top 5 prediction, people doubting that, it doesn't age well.
You said you would be shocked. I was shocked at the expression shocked used there. I was like, actually shocked? Because she got like 8th was her best Spartan race in the past. So you're right. It's not aging well, but
now the reverse would be true. We'd be shocked if she wasn't top 3.
If she wasn't top 5 in this, I would actually be shocked something happened.
Even if Lindsay was here or Nicole was here, I'd be shocked if she wasn't top 5.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if she would be aggressive. I mean, because she was aggressive in that last race, but with someone like Emma in the race, it doesn't matter how aggressive you are. Like, you're not going to be able to get in front of her.
Let's not forget, Chris moved to Colorado like a month or two ago from Texas during the hot part of the season. Like altitude and heat, that's not going to phase her. And with her resume this year and since last year, like she's proven herself time and time again. I could see her easily getting second.
I feel like she's doing a 14er every day.
Yeah.
Like actually, so that might be the thing that she's like hoping that we say is going to make her tired, but it's not making her tired. It's making her more confident. She's like, okay, this
more
is
bulletproof.
14,000. This is like a 9,000 at this run I'm gonna run. It's gonna be easy. So
she's single-handedly been the most impressive thing in this sport. I would say with how she's come on the scene and how she's stuck on the scene, despite all the odds and all the events and all the race choices she's made. She's single-handedly the most impressive athlete we have on course, I think, at this time.
Have you seen Bracken in those short course races? Like the real short courses?
Rich, give it a rest.
Because, I mean, impressive.
There is a video, Bracken, on YouTube. Tell them about the video. There's a video of you doing a short course on YouTube, and you move like a ninja through that thing.
Oh, my goodness. Who are you going to pick, Jack?
I'm going to go Rhea. She's not going to get past you guys.
No.
I think she was
makes our choice easier.
3 minutes behind Alex last year. And I mean, it's a mountain course. She should do well. She hasn't been on the podium for a couple of years at big races, but mountain course at elevation, you can't go wrong picking her with who's left on the board.
I mean, that's the only logical pick here on the women's side right now. And that's kind of what I was saying at the top of the episode, that it's interesting from like 5 to 12. Let's say after 5 to 12 is like what that's going to kind of shake out. I think the top 5 is pretty chalk, but so we're at that point now on the women's. That's all. That's all off the board. Now it's going to be shaken out.
I don't want to get in trouble by picking too many men, but I think there's one obvious that needs to be scooped up next.
All right. Is it Batris or Veerman?
That's what I was thinking too. It's like, I see 2 obvious.
It's neither. It's Josiah.
Okay.
Oh, what did he do in Big Bear before shooting himself in the foot? And he only is going to be better on a longer course. So I think that he's going to be somebody we see sneak on the podium, to be honest, amongst all. But I listen, this is an open conversation, two-way street. We're in a relationship, Bracken. So
we are, but this is about the time last week I picked KBB. And I felt that wasn't the craziest gamble we could have done. So if that gamble is between him showing up and not showing up, the gamble between like 2nd and 5th, I think is a bit more acceptable. So if that's who you want, I support you, darling.
Oh. Tell me this, other than San Luis Obispo, where Josiah Medal laid an egg, and we don't really know why that was. When is he not placed in the top 5? Am I missing something here?
West Virginia and Jacksonville.
He was winning, right? But missed the spear.
Oh yeah, okay, but that was all. Let's
spear
not count
and then
that
tire.
Oh.
I think West Virginia
he made this
last
in
year
the mountain course. Where did he end up in West Virginia?
6th, I believe.
6th.
Because it was like Logan and Gaudette rounding out the top 5, and he was just after them.
All right, pull the plug. I mean, pull the trigger.
You sure?
Pull something.
Pull the plug on this season, boys. After this pick,
this is a give and take relationship, and I'm taking right now. Let's do it.
Josiah?
And I don't mean it in that way, guys.
Oh, I'm giving.
Yeah, you do.
And Alex was your other pick here, so you only had one pick there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we are unintentionally very male heavy. But if you look at it, there are probably 10 men with a top 2 to 3 potential. And I don't think we can say more than 5 or 6 on the women's side. So it's going to have to be a male heavy draft. That's at first.
If we want a chance of winning, it needs to be for us at this point. Yeah.
You got to hit.
Yep.
It's a Wild West on the women's side this week.
Yeah.
From now on, from here on out, it is.
So just before we skip over Alex, because she was your keeper, she's got 4 National Series podiums in her past 6 races. So
yeah,
she and Rose are the most consistently. They're like, I always want take. I like to take Casey and I like to take Faye because you're guaranteed like 7 to 10. Well, they're guaranteed that 2 to 4 almost or 2 to 5 every time.
Mm-hmm.
More than anybody in the field, Alex Walker takes care of business.
Yeah.
You can trust that she's going to do that.
Yep. Yep. All right. I was actually going to take Josiah, so kind of bummed that you did that. And I'm going to take the other guy that you were considering, who was I'm not sure if I'll pick him or Josiah, but I'm going Tyler Veerman. You saw what he did in Broken Arrow in the 26K. He didn't have the best VK by his standards, but 24-hour ultra, second place last year. Endurance isn't an issue. He's you said Chris is running 14ers all the time. Tyler's there half the time with her.
Yeah.
And he's just made for the mountains. I think he got third here one time. Was this his first?
2 years ago. Yeah.
His first podium here.
Mhm.
And I'm pretty sure he hasn't missed like the top 6 or 7 in like 3 years at a national series event when he shows up. And he got third in West Virginia. So he's pretty much a solid pick here.
He took
I like-
17th in San Luis Obispo, in case you're wondering.
Yes.
But
I'm aware.
he's
Yeah.
paying attention.
I like
I'm
him.
just worried he's going to go out a little too hot, like he's done in Big Bear and a couple other venues. The fitness is there, though.
Tyler's MO is to be aggressive, but he tones it down a race or two into his season. But he hasn't been racing. So the only question mark is he in the groove race strategy wise, or is he feeling himself right now and he's going to go out and forget that the first couple minutes of your first race back feel really easy because of adrenaline?
I mean, he's been racing. He was in a race with some of the best trail runners in the country.
Yeah, but we all know OCR
Yeah.
and cameras, they hit a little different at the start line.
Yeah.
We don't know what that mod's going to be like.
Whew.
If he goes out too hot, that mod score might suffer.
And I would say sun impacts mod. Heat is a mod factor.
I would say,
Totally.
but he's getting Colorado type stuff. I mean, the what he's training in is going to be pretty similar to what we're going to be facing in Utah.
I think he's going to do very well.
He's going to be great.
Agreed.
Yeah, Kirk, you'll never forget where he placed in 2019.
Because he edged me for the 5th spot in the national series in that race. He had to take 3rd or better because I was sitting in 5th going into that race, and I laid an egg, took 13th. It was the worst race I had, and Tyler took 3rd and stole my 5th place spot.
The one scenario that couldn't play out that way. So
Brutal.
now Jack's hoping to shove it right back to you.
Absolutely.
Terrible.
So that's why you
Go
wanted
Tyler.
Josiah. You just couldn't let that little piece go.
Still mad at you, Tyler.
We're seeing how he operates now. 3 drafts in, we're
Out
starting
of
to see how
spite.
those gears.
Yep.
Yeah. Spite and
Revenge.
pettiness. Yes.
Pettiness, yep.
All right. Back to
Okay.
back, Rich.
I'm gonna take. Let me take Gaudet.
It's going to be dangerous.
And Batress, the marks, the 24-hour
Yeah.
marks.
They are really good value at this point.
Mhm.
Did you pick them in a certain order intentionally?
You never know. I mean,
Keeper.
we're going to be at a sea-level course next time, or Kelowna might be a good runnable course for
Yeah.
a guy like
I mean,
Batress.
both of them sea level. That's they're fast as anybody.
For sure. Yeah, so I'm excited to see what Mark is going to be coming around to. I mean, he has had a couple rough patches there when he was sick, and then coming out of that, going to Mexico, where he ended up in 9th or 10th, I believe.
Mhm.
So he's still top 10 in a race where it wasn't completely ideal. So he's been climbing a ton. He's kind of preparing for this. We'll see him since he's lived in Colorado Springs, hitting this Utah course. I think he's going to do really well. He's confident. He's going to be aggressive. So I'm liking what he's going to bring to this one.
He had his best ever finish by like a mile in Big Bear in terms of like those steep mountain races. We obviously know what he can do in more runnable terrain. And I think that shows that his descending is improved. We obviously know he's a great climber, but I think that he's putting it all together finally. And that's awesome that you got him in the 5th round.
And then Batress following that up. I mean, he's just operating on a different frequency as a racer this season. And I know this might not be a course where historically he would be pegged to do well, but I just don't think he cares about that stuff anymore. I think he's just running with confidence. He's clearly going to be aggressive. He's been aggressive every single race. So he's going to be in that mix in the top 3 probably for a lot of it. It's just a matter of how he's going to hang on, like physically, because mentally he's in it. But there's a physical component of racing, so we'll see how that plays out come toward the back half after a big crazy descent.
Yep.
but he's in the mix.
Yep. I just got a text from Nicole saying that Johnny will not be in Utah, so I just took him off the board right there.
Now, he was in Alaska, supposed to be running Mount Marathon. I didn't see him in the results. What happened there?
Apparently, he has COVID, so that's
man. His break catching ability needs to rise up a little bit. His life mod is struggling from time to time. COVID at Mount Marathon. I would have loved to see what he did at Mount Marathon.
And he's trending the right direction right now too with his fitness. I feel like it's a tough draw.
Yep. All right. My pick. I am definitely short on women, so I'm gonna go with Casey Monroe because I believe she was 6th here last year.
Well, you got me back with Josiah there.
You understand that she's always ours to pick?
Yeah, I'm aware. Yeah, but Nick was also supposed. What am I just gonna give you Faye Morgan also?
Yeah.
If you look at my totals right here,
it is known.
2 women. Yeah. No, Casey's consistent. You expect her to be somewhere in that 6 to 10 range almost every race, and she's in Montana or Idaho. So
Montana,
used to mountain running, and she's just been doing it for years.
Yeah, I like it, and that's she could get 6th. She could get 15th.
4th. She could get 4th.
Trying to look up past results here so I can get my next pick the way I want it.
4th.
I'm gonna take the under on that one.
Oh, Jack.
What is this?
Yeah. Oh, that's working.
Company time.
No, I'm not logged in right now. I'm just gonna stay late.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, boys, you got 2.
I'm going to hand this one off to you. I feel the giveth and taken, and now I'm ready to give. So,
okay. How many guys do we have?
That's what I'm getting worried about.
3.
We got 3.
Here's my issue.
3 guys, 1 woman.
Here's my issue. I don't know, and this may be disrespectful, but I don't know. Okay, we have 6 women off the board. I don't know if there is a female left who's capable of going top 5, or at least has shown that ability on paper. However, we still have, I think there's a guy sitting there who's capable of going top 5 in Nick.
I think there's 2, actually. One's in the unknown who I think will be racing. And then...
Are you going with Logan? Or are you going with... Who are you going with?
Well, no, but I'm not officially going with anybody, but there's an Olympian on the list named Joshua McAdams who has run this race the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And last year he was in the top 5 until he basically cramped out or DNF'd, didn't he?
Yeah.
So I would go Nick, and then I would either take... I don't know, Heller, or I would probably take Natalie and roll the dice that she's ready to rock because historically she's the most accomplished on the list. So I would take Nick and Natalie. What are your thoughts on that?
On a scale of 1 to 10, Rich, how much will it upset you if we take Nick? I guess you don't support your own team really, so
I had 14 chances to take them.
An undisclosed amount. Take whoever you want.
And Josh Reed could be playing ball too, right?
Maybe.
Okay, maybe we go Nick, Josh.
You guys
just be done with guys.
And just put all the faith in the dudes.
I mean, you could do
that. What are your thoughts?
I'm just looking at the lit. I think we got to pick Nick either way.
Okay.
Nick,
it's more
15 right here.
Yeah, let's do it. And then I'll leave it up to you. Whatever you want to do, I support you.
Just a reminder, your ratio goes, you can't pick another guy if you pick a guy here until your wild card. So,
yep.
I would take Josh Reed. Is that dumb to pick Josh Reed here?
It's not dumb to pick Josh Reed at any point, but it is dumb to not be able to pick any dudes after this. However, nobody else on the women's side is like a sure lock for like a 5th or a 6th. And I feel like Josh might have that potential.
Yeah. Is Josh the last guy we think is a top 5 guy, potentially?
That's confirmed.
My gut, like Kempson, he had that post saying that he was going to be there, but I thought he said change of plans afterwards. So I'm just being transparent on him. My guess is Steve Hammond said that he thinks Logan is going to be there, and Forrest always goes to Utah. I don't know about these two. Gut feeling, Joshua McAdams probably has the highest odds. I don't think Cody's racing, so that's just what I'm aware of.
Is there a female that jumps out at you?
Like a handful, but not a single one. If Natalie was healthy, I would say let's go with Natalie, but I think she's too much of a wild card. Josh just beat Rich Ryan in a race, you guys. If that doesn't say something, I don't know what does.
Yeah, and Rich is a really good downhill runner.
A lot of
All right, I'm gonna say Natalie, and I'm gonna say Josh, and you have to choose.
I am going to go with Josh.
Okay.
I know that's what you wanted.
I don't know if it's ever worked out that going one gender heavy
Did not for me last time.
Has panned out.
Or 2 times ago.
But I can tell that's what you wanted. It's like if I said,
I don't know.
where should we go to dinner, Mexican or Italian? And I said Mexican. You're like, oh, it's fine. Like, I knew you wanted Italian.
Whoever we didn't take, I was going to be mad if we didn't get them.
Let's just do it.
All right. Give us a reading or...
It's our grave.
Shoot.
I
know Rich had high hopes.
I wasn't taking him instead of Casey.
I wanted either one of those guys.
Josh is gonna be a top 5 threat or potentially this race.
Mm-hmm.
He did the incline in like 22:50 something, and then continued on the way down, and he has the second fastest time like for the round trip loop on Strava, and he did the ascent or the descent bracket, and you'll know this, in like 11:20 from the Vela point. So steep mountain, he's stupid fit right now.
Yeah, I wish you guys didn't take those guys. That's really where I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't think I'd get Casey if I left her on the board, so that's why I left him. I thought I was going to get him back in 6, but kind of bummed.
I think those 3 were going to go in some order: Casey, Nick, Josh. So whoever you didn't take, you weren't going to get.
Yeah.
The only reason I'm not incredibly upset is because it never works out to take all of one gender. Yeah. So this is fine.
We have Alex Walker holding it down.
She's gonna be
a lot rides on that.
So yeah, Josh is gonna be great. I mean, I would love to see him on a course like this. Just it depends on what that second descent is like. But if he's in contact at the top of that thing, he's not gonna lose position. He's only gonna make up ground.
Yeah.
And he's another guy that takes care of business. Like, I don't see him going out there and laying an egg. No. He's a business taker care of.
His issue is that he might not be aggressive enough. So if that's the case, he'll get 7th. If he doesn't really assert himself, but if he takes a risk or is ready to pop one, he could get 3rd.
The shoulder seems to be okay based on what he told me, but he's going to get it looked after at the end of the season.
Legendary, popping out a shoulder. Spartan. He's a true Spartan.
Well, and see, I'd rather have that than an ankle or a knee or a hip, because you can just lock off at 90 and go across, lose 2 or 3 seconds, and then bomb a downhill. So it sucks for him because he is so good at swinging fast and whatever. He's going to figure it out.
Yeah.
And Nick here is another good pick, right? Like, he's 5th in the series. He has a lot at stake on all of these races. He feels good about his descent, so he thinks that he'll be able to hang on as long as he doesn't get pulled out too soon on those climbs. But he's as fit as anybody. The altitude doesn't really seem to affect him, at least not noticeably. He doesn't worry about it, which is good.
He's in Durango.
So.
No, Nick Mask.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said Josh.
No, also dumb. But but I think Nick's going to do great here.
And I mean dumb, like it's dumb that he doesn't have to worry about it.
No, I thought you meant because he's so dumb that doesn't.
No.
Sometimes that's an advantage. That's an advantage for an endurance athlete sometimes, just to not have the brain. Just shut it off and go.
One of the tough... Nah, I'm not even...
Okay. You can't do that.
Edit that out.
One of the toughest things is like being at sea level, knowing you're competitive if the race was at sea level, and then going to elevation and managing your effort on that first climb is astronomically an impossible task in his position, because you go out hard and stay in contact. You got to get to the top of that first climb in contact, but at what cost, right? Because once you get past that first climb and you're allowed to descend, everybody settles into the race. But it's like, it's risky business on that first climb when you know you're capable, but you also notice you're at a slight disadvantage. At least that's always a tough juggle for me. Like, what do you do in that case? Yeah. What happens when you go too hard at altitude bracket when you live at sea level? Rich, both of you guys.
Ain't good.
Ain't good ain't the right way to describe it. It's catastrophic. Mm-hmm.
There's no describing it until you've done it. Like whatever
I feel-
rep in your workout, that last rep that you blow up a little bit, imagine that happens 10 minutes into your race. And now you just have to sit in that spot.
What it feels like is if you took 6 months off of running and you decide just to get back into it with a tempo run. You're like, how would you feel? That's how it feels. It feels like you haven't worked out a day in your life somehow. And you're magically in a race that you don't have any business being in. It's the most bizarre feeling.
That's the worst part because it's not like you took 6 months off. It's like you did 6 months of incredibly hard preparation and you're super fit, but it still feels that way. So the mental side is just the worst. It's like, how is this going so poorly?
Last time in Utah, I was in 19th or 20th place on top of the climb, and Brian McCombs came up behind me and said, "What is wrong with you today?" And I was like, "I don't know. All I know is I hate everything about what I'm doing right now. I can't describe it."
I was in front of you on that
Terrible.
climb. It caught me at the center.
I did. Thank God for gravity, and this big chest of mine pulls
I
me
know.
downhill.
All that bench is paying off.
Sure is.
Jack, what do you got?
All right. Looking at my genders, I've got 3 and 2. I don't think he's going to make it past you. I'm going with the guy who stayed with me for about 2 weeks from Australia, Leah Mckenzie. Do you guys know about him?
Yeah, I was going to take him.
I couldn't let him get by. Yeah. So basically, you lost out on Nick Mask and then Leah Mckenzie as well. So
you guys, you all collectively love dudes. I just can't get any dudes.
Yeah. So anyway, Liam is the 2019 Asia Pacific, which is Australia and all of Asia and Oceania and stuff. The 2019 regional champion. He did the incline in little and 23 and change and just super fit. And he came over here specifically for Utah like a few weeks ago. And he's just watched the race. And he's like, if I want to go to the US, this is the one race that I want to be at. And he's been in Utah for a few days. I'm sure he knows the terrain, like right near the course. And I don't know, he's a phenomenal climber. He's done some workouts with VJ and Batros, Vince Pikowski, and myself. And I'm really confident in the guy.
Does he?
When was Batros with you guys?
Godet, sorry.
Well, now I can't trust anything in that.
Yeah.
Start from the top.
Yeah.
Does he beat Chris Woolley, the other Australian guy we know?
They were almost identical. Liam's much more of a runner than a hiker uphill. Kind of like Rhea, where she no matter how slow it or she'll just do super short steps instead of power hiking. And that's kind of his terrain. So Woolley was made for the incline more than Liam. But yeah, Australia used to heat. Been at elevation for the past 4 weeks. That's good for altitude, so I like his odds.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. He got what? Did you mention what place he got in the stadium? He got second in that.
Second in
that stadium.
Yep.
To who?
Victor.
Quesada busted that ass.
He's not a stadium specialist, but he can run on the trails.
All right.
Yeah, he did. I think he ran up to the top of Pikes Peak in 2:52 last week. And he was just kind of stopping to take some pictures as well. So he's a good sustained climber. But I just knew that he wasn't going to get past Rich because he said that he talked with you. So.
I was going to take him for sure.
Yeah.
With the guys left here, I was definitely going to take him. So
yep.
Nice.
What do you think his top end potential is, Liam? Like best case scenario?
7 to 10.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
How many guys are off the board?
Not enough. Pick another one.
5, 6, 7.
11. Correct. Oh, that's right. This is great.
Got 11.
So,
Rich, you only have 2 guys?
Yeah. Emma, and then back-to-back Rose and Chris. That's dangerous.
Jeez, he's got a squad.
I think I got the podium on the women's side, though.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to go ahead and take Faye Morgan here.
Go home, Rich.
It's reliable.
He's just trying to shut us out.
I'll go ahead and take Faye Morgan with that. She is just incredibly, and the reason I haven't taken her in the past is just because her high end, right? Like if she has the best race that she could possibly put out, she gets 7th, but her low end is like 9th.
Yeah.
It's like that's where she ends up, and she's so tough. She was, I think, top 10 in this race last year. I think she was 9th.
Of course she was.
Now a little insider info, but lots of new sponsorship obligations on her end on Friday and at the race. So she can be real wiped out.
Yeah.
She's got just saying.
She's going to be all juiced up on caffeine. I think
She's going to be drinking lots of coffee the day before.
Lots of caffeine.
Might burn out a little bit.
It's a known performance enhancer. It's in the studies.
If you're touring the Black Rifle Coffee facility the day before, which is on the required itinerary for us Black Rifle athletes, she can be sipping a little too much Java the day before. She's gonna do it early. She's gonna be adrenal fatigue. None of that'll happen.
None of that happened. That would happen.
None of that will happen, Faye.
She's Faye Morgan. She'll get 7 to 10 like usual.
That will happen with other coffee brands, but not with Black Rifle.
Right. All right. It'll hit her just at the right time.
She'll be great.
Yep.
And then I'm gonna take Hannah Holmes.
Good pick. Wasn't she supposed to do Broken Arrow? Maybe she did.
I don't know. I'm not sure, but she's another one. She's another lives in Colorado. Won that race at Colorado Springs. We'll see how she does on the climbing. It's not a tremendously technical course, so I'm hoping that's going to help her kind of open up and go. And she's beaten some of these good athletes. Last year at Colorado, 2021 Colorado Springs.
Yeah,
she beat Rhea and
Rose.
And Rose. Okay.
And Casey and Ashley Heller and Callie. Like she took down some big names.
On a
I
flat
don't think
course.
she beat Rhea now that I think about it. But
Rhea won.
Rhea did win that. So this is a bit of a wild card pick there to see how she'll stack up on this, but with some confidence, a couple of bigger races under her belt, hopefully she'll just kind of settle into where she should in that like mid pack and be able to kind of keep moving up. So,
yep.
All right.
Ladies
are done.
For you, not for me, because I'm going Ashley O'Hara, who I think is probably the best climber remaining in this group. And she was top 10 roughly, maybe like 8 to 10 last year. I don't remember off the top of my head, but Lindsay and Annie won't be here, so that's going to bump her up a couple of spaces as well. She's got 4th at a national series race before, and she I don't think she's as good of a descender in terms of being aggressive, but she's a great climber. And, if she puts herself into contention, I think she's going to have an awesome race.
Yeah, I think she'll do really well here too. I think she was 10th, just behind Faye here last year.
Yeah. Just right. She's right in the mix. You know, kind of what you're going to get from her. Usually back half of the top 10, but she doesn't really lay an egg.
If she could get those descents down, she'd break through.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And these descents, again, aren't big bear steep. I actually didn't see the course last year. I think the course last year was a little bit steeper at the top, but not incredibly technical. I think there was some scree and some kind of shady spots there.
But it's not like just Mount Marathon going down some crazy scrambles the whole time. It's runnable.
Or West Virginia or something like that, or like a East Coast race where it'd be steep and technical.
Yep.
So
no, I could see her potentially getting 5th to 6th, depending on how some of the women ahead of her do. But. All right, so Bracken and Kirk.
Suppose from here on out, you pick a woman, I pick a woman.
I like 2 of the women on. I'm actually very happy to be getting these 2 women, in my opinion, who I know we're going to pick at this stage in the game.
All right, I'm going to go out on a very stable ledge and say Natalie. If she's a 80% or more of herself, she's top 5 here, I think. 90% of herself, she's top 5. 80%, she's top 7.
Okay.
And
Rich didn't like that for some reason.
And I
Natalie, keep that receipt.
We haven't seen it. This is a hard course to come back on.
I think she's underrated throughout her career.
She got 3rd once at a national series race.
Yeah. So if she's
Jacksonville
healthy,
sprint.
So
Beast is tough to come back in. It's so long. This is a tough one, but at the same time, maybe it lets her chill for a little bit, get her wheels back, get her confidence, and then get to work. So I like Natalie in this spot a lot.
Going with her?
I do not think that she's the 21st best person on this board. I do not think that.
Yeah.
I think if she is healthy, she's taken in the top 15.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying that
in
a disparaging way.
Yeah. Locker.
Nice. Yeah, I'm excited to see. I'm a big fan, so I hope that she is coming back and that she is healthy. But yeah, Bracken almost reached for this last time, so good thing you still got your pick.
Yeah, I thought Jack would do it just to spite me.
She wasn't going to get past me next round. If you had back-to-back picks though, so I wasn't thinking it would happen.
There's one woman left who probably is, starting to keep a receipt as well for not being picked yet. And I don't know. I thought this woman could go earlier than this, and I'm surprised she's still on the board, and that's Ashley Heller.
I thought she was going to be a keeper.
You can make her an argument to have drafted her a few rounds ago. She was 11th at Worlds a few years ago in the mountains, and she's, I believe, only getting healthier, isn't she? And more fit, if I'm not mistaken. So this could she could steal a fifth place at a race like this as well. So I think Ashley Heller. What do you think, Bracken?
I think this is our round of people that if they're getting back to their former selves, they are a steal.
Yep, 100% agree.
That's the thing with both of those picks, really. Like someone is going to have a tremendous value pick with both of those two athletes at some point. Is it this week? I don't know, but
I led off in the beginning with there's going to be a little bit of chaos on the female side. Well, one way to control chaos is experience and having been there and done it before. And they both have. So I like the idea that if people are closing in the second half, if their fitness is remotely there, they are going to be two of the people finishing this course off.
I don't think Natalie Mianos toes the line without knowing she's ready for something like this. I don't think you do it. I don't think you make that gamble unless you're confident that you
they
can.
have kids. Like this is like you say, this is a commitment. She's got to travel. They have to worry. They have to find childcare. This is a thing. I don't think it's as simple as we're doing a family vacation to Utah. I might as well race while I'm there. I don't think that's how it works in her position.
They're going to put Markey Jr. on the line, and he's going to get like 17th. I might take him in wild card.
Kid's a stud.
Kid's nasty.
He is.
Too good. All right. So I guess that puts me up, and I've got 4 men, 3 women. Rich is after me. He's got to pick 2 women. I'm going to take the. I'm going.
You haven't gone
Hales.
full.
I'm going Brett Hales. So you guys probably don't know him, do you?
Oh, I'm sure you're about to tell us about him.
Yeah,
don't know.
He got second place at that 2015 Warrior Dash World Championship. Been within like less than a minute of Joe Gray on a ton of different trail races, and he made his Spartan debut in Montana a couple months ago. Got 4th, but he's been he messaged me, and he lives with the same area of Montana as Matt Rock. And Matt told me that he's been working on his compromise running with him and grip strength endurance. And he's like,
can you scroll up on the list so I can see where he was on this list?
Right there.
He and Brent together, huh?
Yeah. Just like the Ashleys, they just blend in, or the Marks, right? Yeah.
Well, he's a big boomer bust then.
Big boomer bust. Yep. I like to pick those. I don't know.
Do I remember correctly? He was a college steeplechaser.
Yeah, I thought he had like an 8:25 or 8:20 PR, like nasty.
And he was a decent cross guy, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
I can spell
on
out
the
trouble.
US mountain running team.
It wouldn't be a draft without Jack picking someone unproven.
Yeah,
and you got to think Montana's conditions were absolutely nasty this year. So to take 4th for him probably meant a lot of failures. If he's got a dry, like easy obstacle type course, that might actually be scary.
We've seen Joshua McAdams, similar pedigree, almost podium at this same exact venue last year. I don't know.
Almost.
It's worth a wild card considering we know he's going to be there.
Could this guy almost shake the race up this year?
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a long sustained climb with only a couple hurdles and stuff at the beginning. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes out, takes the lead at the beginning.
The real question is, do we see a Yatsko hurdle out of him?
Uphill in Utah? Probably not.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. There's only one Yatsko. Yeah. Rich, was he on your radar?
No, I can't say I'm familiar.
I just wasn't sure if you looked at the names, and you had 2 back-to-back picks and you had to pick both guys, so I just wasn't sure if he was going to make it back.
If you're done showing off, Rich, why don't you pick your women now?
Yeah.
Who beat him in Montana? Who won? Who was on the podium in that race? That's what I was going to ask.
I think it was Matt Rock. Gaudet did the Ultra Beast. Maybe Rylan and Forrest or something. I don't know. It was notable names that we know.
Maybe a clinker?
I don't think so.
No?
But, yeah. Maybe Hosick.
I don't know. All right. I'm going to take Josh Frye here.
Yep.
Another underrated athlete.
He's due.
Fifth
We
at
haven't seen
Tahoe,
him.
right?
We haven't seen him since Tahoe.
And this is a Tahoe-ish course. Certainly more off-road than Tahoe, but Tahoe-ish.
I do know he's recently become a father for the first time. I don't know what that means in terms
Does he
of
know?
training. I think that it's known on every account, but
Okay.
I don't know what his fitness is like. I don't know what he's been up to since Tahoe, but I think he had a big life change since then. But he came with it at Tahoe. Yeah,
Right,
has anyone seen him race this year?
Have what?
Have you seen him race this year?
I don't think he has, but Tahoe, I picked him kind of like 9th or 10th pick, and I remember he was like the one that we agreed was the best value pick of the draft. Super underrated, just great. I think he lives in the Pacific Northwest, maybe like Oregon. And yeah, he's really good on mountains.
I'm going to snag Logan Broadbent here.
He'll probably be there realistically, but
What race is he not at?
Actually, can I take
The
that
only
back?
one-
Is it too late?
Yes, it's too late.
All right, never mind.
Just kidding. I'm
know
not the
something
boss.
now.
Is it too late?
oh, I don't know. I typed him in and you said it.
Yeah,
so-
typed him in. That's like
Well,
the chess rules. for
Explain
these,
your reasoning, and then I'll make a judgment.
Yeah.
No, because it's the reason is simply to give myself an advantage for later rounds. For later,
Okay.
I was going to take somebody else because you
You
clowns.
wanted him
picked
at the round
dudes.
10 waiver.
Yeah, you guys picked dudes from rounds 1 to 5. So I was like, all right, I don't need to take. Yeah, I could get him for a waiver later. All right, I said it. Chess rules. Hand police
On the team.
please.
Sorry, it's typed in.
Okay.
Yeah, if Logan shows up, I mean, you know what you're gonna get out of him.
Yeah, I mean that's just another with his races
Do
so
you?
far this season. I don't like his
Do you
races.
know what you're going to get out of Logan?
At
I'm
altitude,
thinking
you'd go.
based on OCR Worlds.
At
on a-
altitude in the mountains, I don't know what we're going to get out of Logan.
I think
Like you put him at Indian Mud Run, you know what you're going to get. You put him in West Virginia, you know what you're going to get. I don't yet have a firm picture of who Logan at altitude is.
I know. That's the thing. Like he could be high end 7th, I think, at a race like that.
high end, he could podium.
Well, from what we've seen at altitude, we haven't seen that.
Right.
Right. And so like you could be like 7 to 12 for that's like what I know I'm gonna get. I think in terms of for Logan. But like could he bring it to that top 5? It would have I have a hard time seeing it. But he did
It's not a Logan course, but he's done well at big mountains specifically.
He's a good climber.
Stratton.
He can run
Yeah.
downhill.
He can run downhill.
Yeah.
I think it's the altitude piece that's just hard for him to
Yeah.
run.
Mm.
But he
Busted
has
ass in
basically been
Indian Mud Run
Lindsay
again.
this year. Like in terms of finishing times. So yeah.
Oh. I was like, what?
Okay, so
yeah,
I've got
ladies.
2 women. I'm picking Colorado Springs' Lacey Burgess.
Well, that was my next pick.
She's
Yeah.
racing?
She's driving out there.
Oh.
So,
Yep, that was who I was
she has to
taking
throw in a
next.
carpool.
Lives at
Oh,
altitude.
I knew that being the Midwest. So
Yeah, got a bit of talent to her.
yeah,
Minnesota
she's a
roots.
phenomenal runner,
Mhm.
great rock climber, really good descender. And I'm just wrong with her. And you know how usually if I go running with someone, they're gonna have a good race. So can't go wrong with
She's
Lacey.
one that has a bad luck streak too. She either like goes off course, like rolls an ankle. She hasn't had a good stretch in a few years where she hasn't had like she could be doing well in a race. I mean, she's gone off course, I can think a handful of times, let alone the injuries. So she's a tough one where if she puts it together clean and shows up with good fitness, she should do well.
And she tore ACL like a year and a half ago. It seems to be good. She took off Big Bear because the descents she was still a little scared of. So I'm kind of nervous that she might not be as aggressive there. But if she's confident in it, she's definitely one of the best descenders in the women's field, regardless of if they've been picked or not. She's just really good going downhill. And I don't know, I've got a good feeling about it.
Yeah, her fitness is strong. She's not going to miss obstacles, so she'll be like in that mix. It just depends on how healthy she's feeling.
She was in that giant cargo net group and slow on a flat, fast course. So her position could have been 5 or more higher or worse, depending on how she got off the cargo net with that group. So I don't know. I think she's probably low teens at this point, but hope she does better.
All right.
All right. 2 straight guys for Bracken and Kirk.
What?
Or women,
No,
sorry. You don't have any guys
please.
left.
What? Wait, they only have one.
They're back-to-back picks right here.
Yep.
Okay.
And they've got 5 men, 3 women. So.
Kirk, there's 3 I'm looking at.
Same. Why don't you just go pick one? I'll go pick one. Do it that way.
Well, because what if they don't overlap? Who's your number 1?
I have like a 2-way tie with 2 women. So
Okay. Name them.
Alicia and Jamie. What are yours?
I had Jamie and Aaron.
Okay.
Let's take.
Well, we overlap on
Jamie and
Jamie.
Alicia. I'm an Alicia Keeker fan. Not least of all because I know how to say her name now.
Mm-hmm. Did it very well.
I don't think us winning or losing is hanging on these picks at this point. What us winning and losing, funny enough, comes down to our back-to-back woman pick the round before.
Yeah,
I think is what it is. Even though we drafted all these men, it should hang on that. I think it's going to hang on Natalie and who else did we pick there? Ashley.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be
That's what
surprised if either of these 2 picks that you make here are beat those 2.
Yeah,
Like, I
it's
think
possible.
Like these 4 are going to be really make or break for you guys for sure. So make
Yeah.
the right pick now.
Well, I had Jamie and then Alicia and Aaron together, and you had Jamie and Alicia together. So I think it makes most sense to go with those 2.
Okay. Easy breezy.
Who we going? Which order?
Alicia first, Jamie second.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Alicia ran really well in Mexico. She was 12th overall there. I think she's in the top. I think she's 7th or 8th in this series. So she's got skin in the game. She pushed it all in. She's like coming for this. So
Where does she live? Is she in elevation or sea level or?
sea level. She was in like the Bay Area.
Oh, she does,
Francisco, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
So Smog, she gets
She
Yeah.
gets
work on
that.
Poor
Yep.
man's altitude. Yeah.
Yep.
But also very cool.
Didn't Jamie run Montana also?
She ran the Super, I believe,
Yeah.
and got 2nd.
Gotcha.
If she takes second here, I'll be happy with that.
That would be
Yeah.
Really, I wouldn't even like hold that against her. I'd be fine with a 2nd place.
I mean, I think that she could do really well here. I think that she's taken the step back a bit from racing this season. So, I mean, she's healthy. She's probably had this one circled. She's ready to hit this. So I think that she could do well. Like, I think she could be in that top 10 for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if she scores for you guys.
Yep. All right. My pick, I have to take a woman, and she got 13th place twice this year. I'm going Elizabeth Murray.
Oh,
Mary?
I thought you
Yeah,
couldn't help
Murray.
but sneak another foreign athlete in there.
Oh, I thought you were going to pronounce her. I thought you were going to pick double Z just to say her name. So, Isabelle Zamora Zarate. But yeah, so last year, Elizabeth, she had a post and she was like, Utah sucked. I got altitude sickness, couldn't take nutrition after 40 minutes, couldn't keep water down, sat down on the summit, blah, blah. So I think she's going to struggle.
Redemption.
Yeah.
Focused.
Hopefully she's going to have a little bit different strategy this time. But
Or
back-to-back
scared out
13th.
of her mind.
Yeah.
She'll probably be conservative at the start for sure.
Yep. But back-to-back 13th this year. I think she's the best woman left on the board that we know who is racing.
Oh, she's in the top 10 in the series as well, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Yep. All right. And then final pick. And then you pick a wild card. Rich, you can do a guy and then whoever for your wild card.
I'm going to take Matt Rock.
Rich,
Yeah.
do you need glasses?
My screen's really small, and I've
Yeah.
notes. I've notes on here.
Okay. We're getting a really good look at your schnoz when it's
Yeah,
time for
right
you to
up
pick.
in that,
Yeah.
showing you that facial hair.
I haven't been able
There
to
it
see
is.
you guys
Oh,
for the
yeah.
past, like,
You
hour.
got to be that close to see your facial hair.
Right there.
Yeah.
Looks nice.
Oh.
So yeah, Matt Rock. He beat Jack's boy that he just picked in Montana. So I'm feeling good about that. I mean, he just brings it. He's going to be anywhere from 10 to 15 or so in this mix.
He's one of those guys you always root for. Like he's just
Yeah.
a likable guy that you want to do well.
He's tough. Like it's
Yeah.
like he's gonna be fine.
To be honest, I think Matt Rock is the second best U.S. racer 40 or older right now. Behind
He and
Josiah.
Howard are on my give me them 10 years ago draft. This sport, if they found the sport at our age.
How old is Matt Rock?
42, I think. 41, 42.
And
He
you wouldn't
wouldn't
include
even-
Woods on that list?
I mean, from what we've seen from Woods this year, I think Matt Rock beat him. Big Bear.
You're high.
Wait, who's the?
Okay,
who's-
then he's at worst third.
So you're
Who
telling
else is
me
there?
that if we were drafting a Masters team right now, you would draft Matt Rock over Ryan Woods?
I would say this year, Matt Rock
Right
has
now,
had
you gotta
better
commit.
results than Ryan Woods, who's had some unexpected finishes. But obviously Woods, you would draft him ahead of him. I'm just saying,
The data,
based on what we've seen, Matt Rock has been a better performer this year.
the analytics point to Matt Rock.
You're high.
No, I think that Ryan Woods is a better racer, obviously, and has been his entire career. I'm just saying right now, what have we seen from Woods this year that would convince you that he's Ryan Woods of old? If you take away the name and you just look at the numbers that he's put up,
I'm not arguing
old
Ryan Woods of old. I'm arguing who's the better racer right now. Matt Rock's an animal. Ryan Woods is in the mix with the top 5 guys in the world in most of these races. He hasn't put it together yet, but he
hasn't this year.
Sure. He's been up next to people.
This is a healthy tangent, but it's for selfish reasons. As far as men who are on the cusp of being Masters athletes, like myself, I'll be 40 next year and looking forward to like tackling things as a 40-year-old.
You're already a Masters on the road.
35, right?
And in CrossFit.
Am
I
I?
thought it was
All right.
36 or
Well,
7.
in Spartan and OCR, who else is on the cusp of becoming Masters who could be an actual name right now? Do we know? Like, where's Batris,
Killian.
Gaudet, Killian? Yeah.
Killian's
Who
40.
else? Who else is on that cusp?
Probably Forrest Bogue. He's close.
He's gonna be close. Batris, I think, is a year older than Gaudet. I think Gaudet's 37.
Okay, so they got a couple of years still.
Yeah, I'll look at the people like who's racing. I'll pull up some of those names for the no category.
We don't need to entertain this too much. I'm
No, I'm just
selfish
looking.
curiosity. Like Gawiski's probably
Glenn.
a few years away.
Glenn.
But
Gawiski's
might
younger
already
than me, I
be.
think.
Yeah.
Ken, Air Force Ken. Ryan Kent is still a few years away.
Rich
Rich is
Ryan, how
still-
old are you, Rich?
Same age as Kent, 36.
Okay, Quesada's got to be close.
No, he's like my age.
No, he's
32.
younger than I am.
Yeah,
Oh, he is. Okay.
I think
He's
you're
just been
right.
around forever, I guess.
It's a small group on the women's side. Yeah, you might be right. It's not a big group.
You're
Now,
the
this
guy
is a
everyone's looking at.
tangent.
Kirk.
I'm the only one who's going to be a Masters next year.
Well, it is a
Yeah,
tangent.
Everyone's looking at you.
Well, we've been talking for 8 years now that these guys are about to go into Masters and the 40 plus is going to be this dominant race group. But Cody, Hobie, Novakovic, Woods, Killian, we have 5 world champs or world podium guys now, or people that were at least in that mix for a bit. And none of them have continued to race hard into their mid 40s. So we still actually haven't seen that early to mid 40 takeover that we talked about.
Yeah.
Listen, I crossed the finish line at my trail race this weekend, and the race director came up to me and said, "Congratulations, you broke the Masters record by 2 minutes." And I said, "I did?" He's like, "Yeah, you're 40 already, right?" Nope.
Well, it doesn't
I'm
mean you
already
didn't break
being
the record. You
That's
still
true. I'm
broke
already
that
being
record.
categorized, apparently. Anyways,
Yeah, you're gonna crush age group next year, Kirk.
that's right. I'm going down to age group.
Yeah. All right.
Wild card
Rich?
time.
Yep. Wild card. Rich, who you going with?
Throw Kempson on there. Ryan Kempson for the wild card.
Bold strategy, Cotton. Yeah.
Chances are we're not going to see him. Maybe he decides at the last second, which he has been known to do. I think maybe last year for Utah, it was like he's not going. Then he showed up.
I didn't take him because he's got his brother in town for the 4th and they were doing some housework together. I just assumed he wouldn't turn and jet out right away, but I could be wrong. That's the breadcrumbs he's leaving for us on social media.
His brother's on the East Coast now, so it's not as.
Oh, we'll see. There you go. Throw it out.
New Jersey, I think.
He could be just trolling us all.
He likes to be mysterious for some reason, doesn't he?
He takes pleasure in poking a little bit.
Media adverse.
All right. My wild card. Yeah, he almost podiumed last year. I got to go Joshua McAdams with the top end potential.
It's nobody else I want, so I think we should just take Chris Brown again.
Let's take Tiffany Palmer then.
What about is Ryland's younger brother running elite?
Probably. I don't think he's in. He's like in the 14 to 17 group.
He's been doing age groups.
What about Forrest? What about
You're
Forrest?
gonna take Marky Badgers Jr.
I say either Tiffany Palmer or Aaron Sunday.
What? How good is this Forrest kid? I really want to hone in on him for a second. Like, what kind of high school times is he running?
Good question.
I'll look it up.
Could you do that real fast? How quickly can you do that?
We're on the clock.
What?
I think this is a worthwhile discussion.
You just put in. Oh.
Let's see here.
Let's see.
How old is he?
He's got the bloodline.
I don't know if he might not have anything.
In our interview with Hawk Call, Hawk said Forrest is going to be a problem. That was out of Hawk's mouth.
Wait, does he have results? I can't find him right away.
I have to do some digging.
Do we know he's signed up?
I don't know if he is. This is just all speculation at this point. So
just pick him.
Yeah.
No. This is why we need Athlinks so we can see who is declared.
Freaking Athlinks.
All right.
This is Gary, but he didn't give me the entry list.
Cody Moe would be the only. I mean, obviously, he doesn't respond to messages because he doesn't check them.
All right, I'll let you choose. You want a second generation, or do you want Cody?
I mean, Cody could win if he shows up. Like, I don't know. This is silly. I don't care.
Take Cody. Why not?
You don't want Chris Broadbent? Chris Broadbent?
Chris, if you race, I'm literally starting your house on fire. So.
Got to pick. Last pick. Who's Mr.
I'm going to shave your mustache in your sleep. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So you're taking him?
Cody. We have to go Cody.
Mount.
Yeah. Take Cody. I like it.
That would be the all-time greatest pick if it turns out to happen and he shows up. So, all right. Let's do the review. I don't have a ton of time left, so we'll try to keep this quick.
Got to go to your
Rich. You picked first.
I sure did.
I've got a cracking door here. I just can't even do it anymore. Team. It is so
Bracken, check your phone, by the way.
So dense with humidity in here right now. I'm dying.
Isn't that just unacceptably last minute?
All right. So I got Emma Cook-Clark, Rose Wetzel, Chris Rogloski, Mark Cadet, Mark Batchers, Faye Morgan, Hannah Holmes, Josh Frye, Logan Broadbent, Matt Rock, and Ryan Kempson. Boys.
You might sweep the women.
That might be the podium.
Mm-hmm. You could have 5 in the top 8.
Yeah.
But that stops mattering.
Not really. If I get 5 in the top 8 and then Mark and Mark just get 5th and 6th.
Okay. I mean, your women are unassailable.
It's dangerous.
I like
it. And if you get like a Kempson to show up, you're looking
Kempson
really good.
Shows up, he's the odds-on favorite to win this whole draft.
Yep.
Logan's really the wild card here, right? Like if he shows up, he's potential. I don't count on Kempson coming out and doing well, or coming out. If he comes out, he's going to do well, or just I don't expect him to show up. But if Logan shows up, he'll put his nose in it.
Josh Frye's a top 10 guy.
If I were Kempson, I'd stay out east. Palmerton's a paid race both days. Kempson doesn't care about the series much. He's got a great venue in his backyard. I'd be driving to Palmerton. What I'd be doing, but
it's weird they're the same weekend. There's 3 races this weekend. There's a stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I might
realistically,
Rich, and that's paid as well. I believe they're all on the paid list. So
Bracken, you need your podium at some point.
I just did 19 minutes of strides before my calf started to cramp yesterday, so I might be primed for a stadium stealing spot.
Didn't you pull both your hamstrings and like break your wrist and still get podium in Dallas that one time?
No.
I'm really surprised to see Brent Trail coming out to Utah, being an East Coaster. He could go and make some money in Palmerton this weekend.
He's been racing the whole series.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
He did that last year too. Yeah, he's pushed his chips in. Shouts to him.
I don't think you have anybody on your team who I would be surprised if they score in your top 7. Like you don't have weak links.
You are the female team.
Yep.
And we are the male team.
Damn, you both are.
All right. My team, my team right here, I've got Ryan Atkins, Hawk Call, Rhea Coble, Tyler Veerman, Casey Monroe, Leah Mckenzie, Ashley O'Hara, Brett Hales, Lacey Burgess, Elizabeth Murray, and Joshua McAdams.
You could have the podium on the men's side.
Yeah, definitely with the keeper picks in round 3 with Rose and Alex, and and Emma was a guarantee. Or no, it wasn't Rose and Alex. It was Chris and Alex. And then Emma was a guarantee. It was like, I'm just not going to get a woman available unless I take first. And that would mean skipping over Atkins or VJ or any one of them. So
yeah,
I had slim pickings there with the guaranteed.
The wheel of names did you dirty. That wasn't me.
That was flawed, Rich.
You had like 10 names in there. Okay, I'll put 20 names in there next time.
Yeah.
On paper, Rich's team scares me more.
I would agree.
It has
got some wild cards,
but yeah, you could put something together.
I think Veerman's gonna. He's probably gonna at worst be like 6th, but I just like his fitness right now. Hawk lives there. You know what Atkins going to bring. Like, if I can accumulate some good points with the kind of safe picks, and then Rhea, she ends up beating Alex and Rose, like that could kind of help me out, at least get some points on the women's side. Casey's reliable. Ashley's reliable. Like, I might be able to have a respectable score, but I wouldn't say my team scares people as much as Rich's.
This Brett Hales thing has me super intrigued.
Yeah.
I'll pull him up real quick.
Damn you for knowing all the stats.
Well, he always picks the unproven athlete, and when does it work? Hawk Call was the only time I think that worked.
That's on me, though. I knew of him. I didn't make the connection.
Brett Hales, 35 years old. You can see this right here.
Young man.
14, 16, 837, 29,
11 years,
13 years ago.
Yeah, no, I'm aware. Okay. But he was on like the U.S. mountain running team.
Well, he ran 104 half marathon in 2015. Yeah.
That 14-15 doesn't scare people from 10 years ago, but 104
right here.
104 from 7 years ago, but
right here, 2014. Okay, he won the 14th annual Xterra Trail Run National Championship half marathon at Snow Basin. Wait, isn't this Snow Basin?
It was once.
Used to be Snow Basin.
Oh, that's good.
It might be.
If that's true, then
Marathon
I'm liking that.
trial qualifier, it says in the bio down there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that 104 got him as qualifier.
Yeah. So Joe Gray, Brett Hales, keeping pace.
I mean, if you get taken if they catch you in a picture with Joe Gray at a race,
right here, that
says all. That's your
race
bio
right there.
That's your bio as a runner right there. I was with Joe Gray in a race.
Yeah.
That's actually scary. And this is a very obstacle friendly course with it being dry. Scary.
Yeah.
That was 2018, not 11 years ago.
He doesn't look tall.
No.
He's going to be slight. So it's carries hoist.
Is this at Snow Basin? Because that would intrigue me if he's won an Xterra National Championship there. Like Albert Soleil and Merriam.
It used to be Snow Basin. This is the new location.
Okay. Mount Ogden. That's what it says.
Okay.
Regardless,
could he do a call?
He's done well. He's been close to Joe Gray.
Without the tire flip, it's less of a learning curve. And if you take the tire flip out last year, Hawk Call takes second.
And with the carries we seem to be getting these days.
True.
I just can't help but feel we're going to have a nasty carry this weekend.
I hope so.
I feel it coming.
They better keep that carry. If they take the carry off with a double black diamond at Palmerton, that's when we know this is over.
It was like 5 to 6 minutes in Mexico for both of them.
In Mexico, carry. Mexico brought the real Spartan heat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Spartan US hasn't really done that.
Even Big Bear, that was like a 4-minute carry up 25-30% on that the pole. Like it was pretty rough at the top of that climb. But yeah, as long as it's something not like slow, we need to see longer ones.
Yeah, but it's like the thing, like if you knew this guy was going to Tahoe and we were getting a double, or we were going to Palmerton and getting a double like Days of Old, you wouldn't even put him out. Then it'd be like done. It's like the difference between him having the shot to podium and not even being in the top 15 is a double carry that he wouldn't be prepared for.
As long as he gets the weight on his shoulders, he won't need to put it down if it's a single. And cardio wins in the end of the day, in my opinion, at that point.
Yeah. Think of where the sport is just a few years ago. Asheville Super had a double sandbag carry. Palmerton had double. there were 3 carries in a New Jersey Super. Killington had the double. Tahoe had the double. We had double in, I think, in California one year in the National Series race. We had double in Seattle Super. Think of how many stud runners, Olympic trials runners, came out, crumbled on that, and never came back. Where if they entered the sport these days, they
Totally
wouldn't
different.
have that thing happen. Like that one thing was the difference between them being all world and them not coming back.
Yep.
Yeah, I wish there was a little bit more of those still.
Yeah.
Why
you
is it
take
that we
out-
want to be even more miserable out there? There's something wrong with us.
Imagine if you took out one obstacle from the world championships each year. That and the spear throw are really the only two that change who the winner is, and it would have changed it almost every year.
Mm. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's wild. Like that one piece was core to the sport, and now it's gone. And it would have changed the history of who our goats were.
Mm-hmm.
Cody Moat would have had 2 more world titles.
What
John
about Albin?
Albin would have had 2 more world titles.
Yeah.
Like our Mount Rushmore order would have changed based off one obstacle.
Yeah.
People would say the spear was the most impactful on the sport, and I would argue it'd be double sandbag carry.
Cody had a really good double sandbag carry when he won in 2016.
The year he won, he did. The year before,
Or
it crushed
17.
him.
Yeah. Yep. Anyway, here's your team, Kirk and Bracken. Read 'em
I
out.
like it.
It does look pretty good.
One of you care to read? Either one.
Well, I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people who could be on their best day top 3.
Yep.
And from there, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 people who could be top 7 on their best day. So I do like our odds. And then we have a world champion wild card. That's what the WC stands for, world champ.
Yeah. So we got VJ Jones, Rylan Shadig, Alex Walker, Josiah Middow, Nick Mask, Joshua Reidinger, Natalie Miano, Ashley Heller, Alicia Cooker, Jamie Brusa, and Cody Moat batting cleanup.
Alicia Keeker.
Keeker. My bad. Alicia.
Josh Reedinger. Yeah.
Get out of here, guys.
It's gonna be like your 7th scorer, like your 6th
Huge.
solid. If you can get a good race from like that field that we were talking about, any one of them, like Ashley, Alicia, Natalie, Jamie, like Jamie might save your race.
If Cody shows up, I think we win.
I don't think
I
he needs
mean,
to. Yeah.
Yeah, you
I
guys
don't
have a
think
good
it
shot. Like, and the dudes up front. I mean, VJ will be in that mix. Like, but this is a race like VJ could win. You could get
We have
6.
4 who are just beyond reproach. We have 3 with slight question marks. Nick,
Yeah.
Josh, Natalie, slight question marks. And then after that, one person pulls through.
Yeah.
That's the way I'm looking at it.
No, I remember I did for Big Bear. My team was extremely guy heavy, and I went 0-2. So I did maybe it wasn't Utah. I thought there was one race where I picked all guys at the front, and then didn't work out. Maybe it was Mexico, because that's the similar strategy that you had. Yeah, I went Atkins, Batchers, Angel, Nick, Woods as a keeper. Like we just thought it was like I'm not gonna miss like Batchers on a runnable course, Angel on his home soil, Nick with his running ability, and it just Atkins got 4th. It just didn't work out.
We're going to change the course of
great on
history with
paper.
this
Yeah.
approach.
I mean, I don't see like I feel like Josiah is going to have a huge impact on this race.
Totally.
Right? Like you're gonna see
I
him.
hope
He's
so.
gonna be up front. I think that's what's the most interesting part of this on the men's side is what Josiah is gonna do early in this race.
We have not spent a second talking about VJ Jones
No,
and his impact, but he has to start now being in people's heads. You used to discount him on a beast altitude course, and now he's won a beast altitude and he's won a mountain super. What happens when the two get combined? He's a legitimate force now, a factor that they have to deal with. And I'm excited to see Nick kind of get his feet wet here. I'm excited to see Josh come back. I'm excited to see Natalie come back.
Yep.
yeah,
I
'cause
think
you
your best
mentioned.
pick is Josh.
Yeah, I was really hoping you didn't do that.
Yeah,
But
went
he-
away. I picked Casey instead of him. Should have done it.
It's good. We're going to look really smart if we do well. And if we do really poorly, it's going to be, yeah, you don't pick all of one gender. Duh.
Mm.
You look really smart or really dumb.
So yeah, in Josh's case, we mentioned he got hurt in that Tahoe race, but he was in third when he hurt his shoulder and then hurt it again doing burpees at the very end. So the dude could have a North American championship under his belt. So he's going to be legit.
Totally. All right. Well,
so we got some sort of coverage coming. How we watching this thing? We don't know. We kind of know.
What can we say? What can we not say? I don't know.
We're hopping on a call apparently this afternoon to find out if we're doing coverage or not.
Kirk's got to work. Not happening when they want us to.
Okay. Well, I might have to represent us.
Mm-hmm. Jack can be on site.
I'll be on site.
Jack on site, baby.
We might have 3 of the 4
doing
coverage. Rich, where's the love?
I don't know.
He's going to be in the group message board just messaging himself because we won't be there.
Yeah. What the heck? You guys got to let me in there.
He's going to be our guy in the chair.
Spartan is committed to live coverage for this event without having any real details sorted out yet and how this is going to happen and who's going to be actually commentating. And we're recording this on Tuesday and the race is in 4 days. So we don't.
There will be many rabbits from what I've been told. Hawk calls former teammates in college who are still in college and in the area. Good runners. Josiah's son, Steve Ham, and me. We're going to have a decent amount of people out there.
That team might be able to win.
Yeah, totally.
You guys should win the Sunday sprint.
Veerman and Gaudette are showing up. I know that for the Sunday Super. The sprint is only open.
Oh, it's trifecta weekend? There's an ultra here as well.
Yeah, that's what Callie's doing.
Callie's doing that.
Yep.
Not an ultra I would want to do.
No way.
Jack, let me ask you, what are the expectations of you for like a 2.5 hour mountain race when it comes to rabbiting? Are they like go from the gun and hang on as long as you can and rest on obstacles? Is that the instructions? I'd like to know this.
Well, as one of the senior rabbits at this point, I'm going to have one of the young guys try to keep up with Emma for the first 10 minutes or so, and I'll work my way up the mountain and pick up with it when she slows down a little bit. I've got no issues keeping up with anybody on the downhills.
Humble brag.
Yeah, no. I mean, I kept up with them and Lindsay in Big Bear. I'm good with that. But yeah, I think I'm going to be tapping out for the Gator a couple times on these uphills, trying to keep up with Emma. And we might have to have separate cameras for the Chris, Alex, Rose, Rhea, that battle for 2 to 5, because I think that should have just as much coverage as Emma running in the front.
You know what I'm calling? It's a battle 3 to 6.
Chris run away with it. Yeah.
Kind of think so too.
Yeah.
That's why we need camera people. So
make sure we all do the Jack Bauer Yancey camp.
We'll be up tomorrow.
What's your ORM name? Miranda.
I think Matt renamed it the OCR Oracles. I think it's stupid, but yeah.
Matt, take notes.
Yep. He did it. It's
all
not
right,
like the King Corral, but
that's
we
it.
gotta roll.
All right, dudes.
See ya.
Bye.